Willkommen zur 22. Folge von Ungebrochen. Wir haben heute es geschafft, nach vielen langen Jahren Blitzkrieg nach Deutschland zu holen. Das erste Mal, dass wir selber ein Konzert veranstaltet haben. Und ich habe jetzt den Sänger der Band bei mir, Brian Ross.
How do you do?
Brian, this is the first time you're coming to Germany now.
Yeah, it's surprisingly enough, it's the first visit of Blitzkrieg to Germany, and it's probably been a long time coming.
So the first show on this tour was in Hamburg. How did that go?
It went extremely well. We had some great support bands. The crowd were absolutely phenomenal. And everything just went much better than we could have expected. We came over, we played the set, and it was great because I mean, for most of the time, everybody was singing all of the lyrics, you know. So it was fantastic, you know. It was just a brilliant show.
Also, this was the first time that you presented a couple of new songs, which are on the 10 album.
Yeah. Well, 10 is really what it is. It's 5 songs from the original 10 Years of Blitzkrieg CD that we released a while back, and from the letters that we've had over the years, it became apparent that not as many people got the 10 Years of Blitzkrieg album as we would have liked, because it just simply wasn't available. So we decided to reissue it, and we went into the studio. And the bass player that we've got now, Steve, he re-recorded all of the bass lines for those 5 songs. We put some new guitar tracks on, and we redid the lyrics for Blitzkrieg. We renamed it Blitzkrieg '96 as a one-off project. I mean, if we ever play the song, which we usually do, it will be the old version, not the new one. We recorded 5 brand new songs as well to go on that, to make it a 10-song album, hence the name 10. Catalogue number's 10 as well, and it'll be released on the 10th of January. Originally it was meant to be released on the 10th of October, so there was 10s all the way down the line. But it didn't quite work out that way. But we've played most of the songs from that album on this tour, with the exception of the song Caught in the Act, which basically is it's a celebration of the Satan album. And the lyrics in the song have all of the song titles from Caught in the Act in the lyric.
Another new song you played live on this tour on the 10 album was Power of the King, which is another concept story probably about an Egyptian king.
Yeah, Tutankhamun, the boy king. Yeah. I mean, we don't really know a lot about him really. We just know that he became the pharaoh at a very early age, and I think he's about 12 years old when he died, and nobody really knows how he died. We think it's a kind of a conspiracy, and I think he was poisoned. And he really didn't know who he could trust in the royal court, and he felt totally alone apparently, and totally alienated from everything around him, because here he is, he's just a kid. And he's thrown into the most important role in Egyptian hierarchy. He's the pharaoh, you know, and he just feels totally alone, and he just doesn't understand what's going on. And I think when he died, I think he was poisoned. I think when he died, he just didn't understand what was happening, and he just thought he was going to sleep. He lay down and went to sleep, and that was it. And there's all of these things that, you know, when the tomb was discovered, about the curses and everything, and, you know, the people that died under mysterious circumstances and everything, it just made an interesting little story for me to write a song about. And it was almost like when you see the death mask of Tutankhamun, the gold death mask. I've got one at home. I've got a full-sized mummy with the death mask and everything on it.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, you can actually feel the power of the pharaoh. It's just such a striking thing when you look at it. And the thing is only about 4 feet tall, and it's like, you know, you're looking at it, you're 4 or 5 feet tall, and you think, this is absolutely amazing, you know. So thousands of years later, and you can still see the power that this guy must have had. So, power of the king. That's why it came.
So apart from the album 10 coming out, Need is also reissuing the old Satan album, Caught in the Act.
Yeah.
And it's got a few bonus tracks on it. Could you explain
Yep.
about that?
It's going to be issued for the first time officially on CD. And it's coming out January or February. And it's got 2 extra tracks on it. Well, it's got 3 extra tracks on it, but one of them's break free. Now on the album, I do the vocals alongside Alan Hunter, who was in Tyson Dog at the time. But what we did for what was meant to be a single, we took off Alan's vocals and I did them all, and we put slightly different guitar parts on. And we also did a song called Dynamo, which eventually came out with different lyrics, differently recorded, of course, on the Blind Fury album. But this was the original version, the Satan version, with the lyrics that I wrote, which was about the Dynamo Club in Eindhoven. That's going to be on it. And of course, Pull the Trigger, which I did on the Time of Changes album, but this is the original Satan version. And all of these songs were recorded at the same time as we recorded the Caught in the Act album, but they were meant for a single, so we didn't put them on the album. But they're all going to be on the album this time round. So we searched for hours through the archives at the record company till we found them, and we eventually found them, dusted them off, had a listen, and they sounded good. So they're going to go where they belong on the Caught in the Act album. So I'm looking forward to seeing that out.
Apart from touring in Germany, you had also played in Italy and Greece for the first time this year. So how did that go?
It went. I mean, it's just so amazing that wherever we go, we're made so welcome, you know, and the fans are terrific. And it's just, you know, you go to these places and you just don't know what to expect. And when you get there, it's like you've been there forever, because the people are so nice and they're so friendly. Yeah. So everything just goes really well, and you know, the fans are there, we're there, and it just becomes the whole show, you know, because you put the 2 elements together of the fans and us, and the whole thing just becomes one massive show, and it's we can't do one without the other, and it's just so good. They make you so welcome. They come to see you afterwards, you know, and they bring a whole host of things that you would never expect, you know, like the original Blitzkrieg single, for instance. You know, people come and they'll say, you know, will you autograph this? And you just haven't seen copies of it for years, you know. I haven't seen a copy of that for years. So it's nice to think that they're obviously, they must have followed us all of this time through everything, even through the periods where we haven't done anything, or at least we have been. I mean, because Tony and myself have been busy most of the time writing material or helping other bands out in England. I think, you know, Tony had written some songs for a band in England, and he'd helped them out. He'd played on their demos and things like that. I'd helped out, you know, producing different bands and things like that, and you know, giving advice and stuff like that. And then obviously the search for musicians to put the band together as well. But all of that time, to the fans in Germany and everywhere else, it looks like we aren't doing anything, because we're not in the magazines, we're not releasing anything, or there's no videos or anything. So it looks like we're not doing anything, but we have been pretty busy most of the time. So it's nice when we actually do get to meet the fans, that they're still there, and that, you know, they've been waiting for us, and when we've come over, they've supported us really. It's just been fantastic.